Right about there. Looks good. The chair's up. I'm set up in the new studio, but that's a different video. Today we're doing an Isopod setup review for Josh Cain. So join me now.
The Isopod vlog.
First of all, I want to thank everybody that submitted a video for me to review their Isopod setups. I'm going to keep this very, very constructive. This isn't to belittle or make fun of anybody. This is straight. Let's all learn from each other and take a look at our Isopod setups and see if we can make improvements to keep our animals healthier and eventually maybe to get more babies. I put a question out last week asking people if they would submit a 1-minute video talking about their Isopod setup, showing the Isopod setup, letting me know how they set it up, what animals that they're keeping. Then what I did was take those videos and edit them down and take a look at them and critique some of the points about those Isopod setups. At the end of their videos, what I'll do is give a little summarization, kind of an evaluation. It's not a grade by any means, just an evaluation and some suggestions of how they can improve their setups. If you want to be part of this, simply leave a comment below and say, Wally, I want to be a part of this. And I'll get in contact with you and you can submit again, a really short video describing your Isopod setup and we'll talk about how to improve it. This next setup is Josh Cain's. Let's go ahead and start her up.
Hi, Wally, and all you other Isopod fans. This is my 12-quart setup. I have holes, ventilation holes here. I have ventilation on the top. This is a fiberglass screening. I have it on the inside, and I just hot glued it all down. These are my Porcelio Lavis dairy cows. Let's open her up.
I love the ventilation. You've got the cross ventilation. You've got plenty of ventilation on top. Right on, Josh. Just perfect. Right on.
My substrate is a mixture of Gecko earth. Oh, there's someone right there. Is a mixture of eco earth, organic potting soil. I have some mixed in hickory wood chips and some activated charcoals. I also have seeded.
Again, looking at your substrate, I think you're right on. The eco earth, the potting soil, the wood chips, the charcoal, really good. A lot of people will use charcoal, might not use charcoal. My thought is it can't hurt and it provides some cavities that those isopods, especially the babies, will go into and kind of hide under. If you've ever dug up an isopod colony a little bit looking for babies, and if you have bigger pieces of like wood chips or charcoal, you'll find a lot of babies just kind of hiding out around those pieces. So again, looks really, really good. Let's go ahead and keep going.
Springtails in here. We have our wet side over here, which is just forest terrarium. Moss I moist down about twice a week. I moisture this maybe once a week. This I got at a pet store. They really seem to like it. I don't know if you can see them in there. Yeah, there's one. They hollow that out. And these are bur oak acorn caps that I got just walking around my neighborhood. And they really like to hide out in them. So this is
for that piece of wood and the acorn caps. I really think that they look really cool in this setup, especially those acorn caps, really cool. But what you're going to find is these dairy cows are going to multiply quickly and you're going to want more surface area. It's going to be easy to add more acorn caps and more acorn caps, but you might eventually want to keep a couple of those, take out the wood, and put a big slab of wood in there. Something that has a more concave look at it on it so that the isopods can get up under the wood and not be touching the substrate. So some kind of a slab of piece of wood with a more concave shape to it, and something that goes from the dry area over to the moist area, kind of like it provides a bridge from the dry to the moist area.
Porcelio Lavis dairy cows. All the leaves and the wood and everything, like I said, I've picked up around my neighborhood. There they are in there. And that's my Porcelio Lavis dairy cows.
All right. Thanks, Josh, for submitting this. Again, this enclosure looks just great. Absolutely great. From an overall perspective, I guess I would give it a greenish yellow. You're just right in between there. The only thing, and I think that you're going to have a lot of success with this enclosure, the moss, the substrate, the ventilation, you know, all the boxes are being checked. Just a great job. The only thing, again, that I would do a little bit differently, and don't get me wrong, you're going to have babies. The adults are going to be fine. But I would put a slab of wood that will allow the isopods to go from the moist area to the dry area and get up off of the substrate and provide more of a surface area. That's the only thing that I would do with this tub. You don't mention what foods you're feeding, but I'm going to assume that you're feeding the normal foods. You've got plenty of leaves in here, and that's 90% of the issue solved there. I don't see any dry decaying wood in there. You'd want to add just a little bit of dry decaying wood. And again, as long as you're feeding some vegetables and other foods in there, I think that you're going to be fine. Really, really good job. Thanks, Josh. So what did you think about this concept? I loved it. I loved taking a look at other people's setups, and I loved giving comments. I'm not perfect. I'm just giving some suggestions on the information that I've acquired, some mistakes that I've made and fixed, and how I've set up my isopod cultures in the past. If you like this arrangement, if you like this concept, leave a like below, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, hit the notification, put a comment down below if you want to be a part of this, because I'd like this to keep going on, and maybe do a setup a week or more frequently if we can. If you're looking for more Isopod information, I'll put my playlist and another video down below, and you can take a look at those and gain more information on isopods. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next week.